Revelation 6, 5 through 6 reveals the contents of the third seal. Verse 5 says, "And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, 'Come and see.' And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, 'A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.'" And so the black horse brings about global famine. The third horseman has a pair of balances in his hand. And balances in ancient times were used to weigh things like wheat and grain and barley. And scales and balances generally represent judgment in the Bible. For example, in Daniel 5:27 says, "Thou art weighed in the balances and are found wanting," right? And so in John's vision or glimpse into the end times, John hears a voice say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny." And so what this tells us is that a penny in biblical times was about a day's wages for an average worker. That's what the average worker earned during biblical times, about a penny a day. You know, we've had pretty big hyperinflation since then, I'd say. But a penny was a day's wages. So in the last days, the economic condition in the world will be such that a measure of wheat or 3 measures of barley would cost about a day's wage to purchase. So a day's wage today is what, like $100 a day, like, you know, for like a minimum wage type of job, maybe $150 a day, right? So imagine going to the grocery store to buy some wheat or barley and paying $100 to $150 just for like a little bit of wheat or barley, like a measure of wheat or barley. And so food during the third seal, the war, first we'll see the Antichrist, the wars, and then after that global war, obviously there'll be a disruption of the supply chain. We'll see famine as a result. We got a taste of that with the COVID lockdowns. Imagine that during, global World War III, what that would look like. And so during the tribulation period, food will be so scarce that there will be hyperinflation like you've never seen it before. And yet, luxury items, the Bible says, will not be touched. The oil and the wine. That's what the oil and the wine represents, because there will always be rich people in the world, even during the tribulation. In every circumstance, there will always be someone in power who is able to gain the system and still have access to those luxury items and to the foods and all that. Of course, they'll have to take the mark of the beast at that point to have that privilege. But there will always be people like that. And so the oil and the wine, it says, "And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine," which represent symbolically, oil, wine. These are luxury items. These weren't, your basic food items. They're luxury. But the third seal reveals global famine and hunger.